Alright, howdy, it's Gus. We're back again, and I would like to talk about, we've already talked about basically everything on the board. We talked about inputs, buses, sends, matrices, effects, assigns, scenes. We've talked about mute groups, we've talked about meters, we've talked about the effects over there. We've talked about gain, phantom power, phase shift, phase invert, gate, dynamics, EQ, bus sends, main bus. We've talked about everything on this board except for all the weird miscellaneous stuff. And that's what this video is. Number one, USB recorder. You hit view, pulls up this page. If you plug in a USB and hit record, it will start recording all of the channels, not just like anything being sent out to the mains. It will record everything onto that USB. Remember, hit stop before you unplug the USB. If you just raw unplug a USB, it's not going to get anything. You have to hit stop, you have to save all the information, and then unplug the USB. Cool. Next. Monitor. If you plug in something into the special 1/4-inch port back here, designated monitor, then it will be controllable via this specific area. If you have headphones, which are plugged in here and here, here's the headphones knob level, here's the headphones volume level, whether it's mono. Dim just makes both the headphones and the monitor instantly 20 decibels quieter. The purpose of the dim button is literally if you are listening to your headphones and somebody comes up to talk to you, you dim it, have your conversation, and then undim them when you're done. That is the entire purpose of the dim button, to hear other things while you're mixing. If you hit view, you can see the monitor settings, levels for the monitor, volume is again here, where the monitor is coming from, and then solo options. This page is where you control what the solo button does. For example, you can do exclusive, which means that if you solo something, it unsolos whatever was soloed previously. If you unclick exclusive, then you can solo multiple things at the same time. If you do solo follow select, then whatever you select will also be... Oh wait, no, hold on. If you do select follow solo, now whatever you solo also is selected. If you do the other way around, now whatever you... Wait, what? Okay, that should be soloing whatever you select. I don't know why that's not exactly happening. Okay, and then a bunch of other miscellaneous settings regarding the solo button. Okay, lovely. So, it also says what it does here. Nice. Cool, you can use the master fader for this one. I don't know if that'll work because, as I've said previously, this entire channel is kind of just broken. But, yeah, that's some fun stuff. No side settings for the monitor. Cool, over here, we got the lamp that I covered in the kind of joke video. The external microphone. Oh, the God mic. Yes. If you view here, and you have this enabled, talkback, and you do not have this enabled, this is the microphone. And so, the God mic is installed into this board as an easy way for whoever's sitting up here to talk to the people down there. Either of these two buttons turn on the God mic, as long as one of them is yellow. Actually, it seems to be just B for right now. This microphone is picking up sound. There we go. And all of that sound is being sent somewhere. Right now, that sound is being sent to the vocals bus. As you can see, selected bus 3. So if I turn this up and I keep talking, something's being whack. Hello. There we go. Okay, I just spoke directly into the microphone. It just wasn't being loud enough, and you could hear it at this speaker. Lovely, that's the God mic. If you want to change where the God mic goes, if you change your vocals bus, you need to reselect it up here for the God mic to keep working, and if this is turned off, then the God mic just doesn't work, even if you have these buttons selected. This right here, volume for the God mic. So I believe, actually, if I turn this on, turn on this, and then do this, then you can... Interesting. Okay, well anyways, if you don't like using this microphone, then you can plug in a microphone into this port and hit this, and now instead of using this, it will instead use whatever's plugged into this port. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's the God mic. Oh, another thing about the God mic is, this little page here that has the monitor, the God mics, and the, oh! The B God mic is being sent just to the mains. Okay, that's interesting. lamp. Oh, the oscillator. Okay, let's talk about the oscillator. This is what we use for testing all of our monitors and testing all that good stuff. Oh my god, I forgot to talk about the difference between pink noise and white noise at Sound Day. Okay, hold on a minute. We need to go back to this board because it is time to discuss the difference between pink noise and white noise. So, what is white noise? Let's get our little, let me make a EQ graph with decibel level and frequency with 20 hertz and 220 kilohertz. Okay, this is a graph of frequencies. It's literally the same graph that you see when you hit view on the EQ. Oh my god, I accidentally just drew on the board. You didn't see that. White noise is playing a sound that looks like this, where it's even decibels among all the frequencies. However, the problem is that unless you're a perfect robot, playing a sound that just includes all of the frequencies evenly doesn't sound like all the frequencies evenly played. As a matter of fact, this is due to something called the Fletcher-Munson curve, studied by two scientists named Fletcher and Munson, well that's crazy, who basically showed that human hearing is biased towards certain frequencies. We are able to hear higher frequencies, I believe, louder than... No, actually, maybe it's the other way around. Shoot, I can't remember. Oh god, this is bad. But basically, it's either high or low frequencies. We hear one end of the spectrum higher than the other one. So, I think it might be lower frequencies higher? Maybe? Okay, well, take this with a grain of salt. But basically, our human hearing range looks like this. Which means that in order to play real white noise, like things that... Playing white noise is playing all the frequencies at an even level. Playing pink noise is playing all the frequencies at a level that perfectly counters human hearing so that we hear it as what white noise is supposed to be. The difference between physics and psychology in sound. I like to think of it as white noise is this idea of all the frequencies played equally from a physics perspective, and pink noise is all of the frequencies played equally from a psychology perspective. So, we can actually listen to the difference using the oscillator, because the oscillator is a tool you can use to pump white noise or pink noise or sine waves into a speaker. So right now I'm pumping it into bus 4, which basically means that the oscillator is playing through the aux bus, and the aux bus is going to play that through the matrices. So when you're using the oscillator, always, I cannot stress this enough, always turn it all the way down before you oscillate. If you just hit this button and it's already at a level, I promise you the oscillator is always ridiculously louder than you expect it to be, and you will blow out someone's eardrums. Always start oscillating at negative infinity and then slowly turn it up. Actually, this frequency should be set to... Okay, never mind. We're going to slowly turn up the pink noise. Is it playing through the... Oh, no, the aux bus isn't sending. Okay, that's why. All right, hold on. Quick fix. The problem there was that this aux bus is not being sent to the matrix that this speaker is. So if I hit sends on faders and I select this one and then I turn up the aux bus, now it'll work. Lovely. I'm gonna hit generate, and there we go. We can already hear it. At negative 66, it's already very audible. This thing is way louder than you expect it to be. So, it is currently playing pink noise, which is playing all the frequencies evenly. As a matter of fact, we can even look at it. That's not the best place to look. Let's look at the aux bus itself. There we go. We can see it's playing pink noise. Oh, so I was right. That we hear low frequencies higher than we hear high frequencies, and pink noise plays the high frequencies louder than the low frequencies so that we hear it evenly. Cool. But now let's play some white noise and hear the difference. Now it's playing white noise. And now if I hit view on this... Oh, that's weird. Hold on. Is it because of this? I do not know. I thought that these frequency knobs only affected the sine wave option. Okay, well anyways, there's also the option to play pure sine waves. Don't these change the... Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, these frequency knobs control the sine wave. When you play a sine wave, it literally, because musical notes are waves of sound, sine waves are perfect musical notes. So if I hit view here, you can see that it's playing a perfect note. Like there's no other frequencies, it's just one concentrated note. Let me turn that down. Or not turn the volume down, but with this knob, I can adjust the frequency. So in theory, using this, you can play music using just Barry. Fun. Okay. Oh, I didn't do the other Fun Sound Day thing. Oh man, this video is just gonna be filled with miscellaneous stuff. Okay. Welcome to, I guess, Sound Day Part 2. Gus remembers all the things that he forgot the first time. I actually did not need that marker. I don't know why I just opened it. So, this is going to be the 50th time I've said this, but frequency is in fact correlated with wavelength, which means that anything that vibrates with a distance creates a frequency. So a fun thing you can do is actually turn Barry into an instrument another way. I discovered this while bored and working on a dance show. If you take these faders, I'm going to turn them all up right now, and then you run your finger along these, it creates a sound. It plays a frequency because it is vibrating the metal itself at a certain wavelength. If you turn these down, now scratching here is going to be vibrating these pieces of metal. Scratching here, give me a little more room, is going to be vibrating these pieces of metal up to the fader, because the fader is going to stop the vibrations. Try not to listen to the sound of my fingernails, but try to listen to the sound of the ring that it creates. You can 100% hear that that is higher pitched. And that's because this distance is shorter, which means that the wavelength is smaller, which means that the frequency is higher. Isn't that freaking awesome? Sound Day is so cool. And so if you put all the faders like gradually increasing, and then do this, you'll be able to hear it get low and then higher at the end. If you do this, you're able to hear it get lower at the end. Okay, there we go. That was a little thing that I missed during Sound Day. Okay, lovely. Back to the lesson. That was the oscillator. You send the oscillator to different places. Before every show, when I have my monitors like hidden on stage in places, I oscillate to every single one of them and just slowly turn them up to make sure they're working and they're on. Lovely. Okay, that's the oscillator. What next? This is quite literally just a place to put your phone. There you go. Okay. Let's walk through all the other pages of settings on the board really quick. Home. Home shows you where the heart is. If you select a channel and hit home, it shows you everything you could possibly need to know about that channel right here. It shows you the EQ graph, the dynamic graph, the gate graph. It shows you all the fancy settings like 48 volts, which is turned on for some reason. And also shows you the low cut, whether the low cut is on. It shows you if that channel is linked with the channel next to it. It shows you the gate threshold, what DCAs that channel it is in, what mute groups that channel is in. It allows you to assign it to mute groups from here. It allows you to solo it from here. It allows you to actually mute it from here. There's a second mute button here. And then there's also a second page that allows you to, let's see. Oh, 48 volts was on because this is where we plug in choir mic, so I should keep that actually. Gain, threshold for the gate, all of the settings you could ever need. It also shows you what buses it's being sent to. If you have a bus selected, then home will instead show you what matrices it's sent to instead. Home shows you everything you can need in one quick little place. So if you ever need to check a quick setting, hit home and it'll be somewhere there. Also for channels 1 through 8, like I said, it shows you how it's being auto-mixed. Lovely. Okay, that's home. No, I don't want to hit utility yet. Config. So, remember when we were talking about routing and we had those big groups of 8, like you could only route in chunks of 8? What if you didn't want to do that? Well, if you go to home and then config, you can individually assign the routing from that group of 8. Like I can have 2 come from 3 instead. That's what this little thing is for. Lovely. Again, the friendly little chart of what the different types of sends mean, and reminding you that it is being sent post fader right now, or post subgroup, or post DQ, whatever. But it's being sent post, which means that the fader does stuff. If this weren't highlighted and instead pre was highlighted, then the fader wouldn't do anything. Lovely. Also, if you ever run into problems where the fader isn't doing anything, it's probably because it's sending pre-fader. Okay, lovely. Yep. Oh, also, if you want to add delay to a microphone, right here, this is the button. You normally don't. You normally want to only add delay to outputs instead of inputs, and you always, if you want to add delay to your system, put delay on the output instead of the input. Lovely. Okay. Next up, gate, dynamics, EQ, bus ends. This is the same thing as these view buttons, and actually notice that the view buttons light up depending on what I have clicked, and they're all in a row next to each other. And then the main bus. Oh, wow, yeah. This entire page is just the view buttons in a row. Okay, lovely, that's home. Meters is meters, we've talked about it. Routing is routing, we've talked about it. Setup. Global is what version the board is on. Shutdown, factory reboot, software update, there won't be any. Sample rates, clock source for the clock, which you can set here. I believe this might be like a little bit wrong, we'll see. If you want to reset anything. Oh, the brightness. Yeah, the brightness of the LEDs. And then the channel LCD contrast. Lovely. Okay. And then, neat, config. This allows you to change show view, pop-up preferences, a bunch of like basic system settings. Oh, mute system. This could mess you up if you don't know what's going on here. The mute system, hard mutes mean that between mute groups and pressing mute buttons normally, mute like takes priority over mute groups. So if you have hard mute selected, then yeah, individual mute channel mutes take precedence over mute groups. Yep. If I have something muted and I hit the mute group to unmute it, it will stay muted. DCA groups act as mute groups. So if I mute a DCA, it mutes everything in that DCA. So for example, if I unmute everything and then I mute a DCA, it mutes the channels in those DCAs. But also, it flashes, showing you that it's only muted because it's in a DCA. That does mean that it's muted, but it also means that you can mute it again to keep it muted when you unmute the DCA. So the only one that comes unmuted is the one that was flashing. Lovely. If you prefer that be the way your DCAs work, then sure. Invert LEDs. Oh God. There was once a span of about a week where we had this option accidentally set and it made everything so confusing. What invert LEDs does, if mute is red, the channel is unmuted. If mute is gray, the channel is muted. That is what that button does. And it is so weird and so confusing, and never select it, please. Oh God, why would you ever do that? Okay. Lovely. Panning mode, link preferences, bus configuration, a whole bunch of cool stuff. This is remote control for if you're using multiple boards or a DAW. Network. Oh, this is for the iPad. There will be a video on this. Name and icon. If you select a channel, you can change the color of the channel. You can also use this to give it an icon, and this to give it a name, and then this changes what channel you have selected. Lovely. Preamps. To be honest, don't know this that well, so I'm just going to skip it for now. Card. This is the card in the back, and this is how much information is being sent to the card for if you want to pull it out, plug it in somewhere else. Lovely. Library. Okay, this is a basically snippets for individual channels, as long as you're in channel. So you can choose what parts, basically the parameters of a snippet, and then save it to a place, and then you can load it onto something else. So for example, we had a weird EQ for a gramophone and failure. We have that saved to a library here, and then if I ever want to load it back onto a channel, I just select a channel, scroll down to the gramophone, and hit load preset. If I ever make a new one, then I would select a channel, do all my fancy business, and then hit save preset onto something new. If I ever want to delete it, I can press delete here. Lovely. Next up is the library of effects. We've already gone over this. Routing, this is like snippets for routing. And then this is like, oh, this is the weird snake thing. Don't know much about this, so I'm just gonna skip it for now again. Okay, lovely. What's next? We've gone over effects, we've gone over mute groups, the utility option. Okay, so utility is like the mute groups in that it opens up a tool belt and you can hit it anywhere and it will bring you to fancy stuff. So the most common use is if you're in scenes or library, utility opens up this bar at the bottom that allows you to copy and paste. If I copy a post show, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I hit utility, I hit copy. That's not doing what I wanted to do. Hold on, let's go to scenes. There we go, now I think it'll work. I'm gonna copy cursed by hitting utility, copy, and now paste, and now it pasted itself, but I don't wanna have two of it, so I can also just delete it. That's what the utility bar does. It can do some other fun stuff. That is the main purpose. Okay, lovely. That's that. Oh my gosh, wait, that was it. That was every setting on the board. I mean, I obviously skipped some of the big stuff. Yeah. Wow, okay. The last thing that we are going to need to talk about is the iPad, and then we're done with the board. Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Next video is going to be about the iPad. Catch y'all on the flip side.